Good morning, vanakkam, and quite happy to join you. When you're meeting, I'm told annually once every year, and this year it happens to be in Madurai, and you're talking about entrepreneurship beyond boundaries. In fact, much more than I would have read through the briefs which were given to me about what this group is meeting in these very challenging times. I had the privilege and opportunity to be having next to me in the flight from Chennai to Madurai last night a very active entrepreneur, comes from a very entrepreneurial family from Coimbatore, so he was briefing me about everything that happens and so on. So it's very encouraging to know that Industry Association CII had in anticipation of being a very responsible industry association to have formed a group like this. Make sure that you have a pipeline of young leadership. And just now on the dais he was telling me that for every one of you there is a mentor. And the mentor handholds you in terms of building leadership qualities and making sure that you're able to face the challenges of growing times. So it certainly gives a lot of comfort to know that industry works for itself to make sure leadership is built over the generations. Families do build it, but when industry associations themselves join to do it, I think it is so very a fortunate circumstance that you young leaders, young entrepreneurs, should derive the maximum benefit, both from your families and also from this association, which is in a very comprehensive manner, working towards giving you that strength. And now today talking about entrepreneurship beyond boundaries is just the right discussion issue, because boundaries don't seem to matter with technology the way in which it is taking over our lives. And when I say when it is taking over our lives, it's also contributing to better models of business, giving a clear foresight on what is the way in which your business can grow, what are the trends, what are the challenges. So technology actually has done such a shake-up to the ways in which we look at ourselves, our businesses, and our economy, that till now, ideology, different governments, decades of India's independence have not done. So at one go, with the way in which technology has, I would say, crept in, but really has come like a tsunami into our lives, the hesitations, ideological dogmatism, and not being ready to move have all been challenged. If you don't move now, you're going to be drowned. But if you move and move with some kind of guidance, you will make the best out of the changing times. So in this context, I'm here to talk to you. Thank you, CII, for having given me this opportunity. So once when we decide to build, rather than wait, to create rather than participate, and to embrace uncertainty in pursuit of possibility, it is about that willingness that we have to talk, willingness to believe in a future that is not yet before us. It is before us, but we don't exist in it as yet. So I don't want to make it complex. Be ready for what comes. And that is where you have to build, and in this uncertainty is where you have to build. So really, it is not difficult for us, because all major economic transformations have begun with individuals who saw possibilities that are otherwise overlooked. The steam engine, electricity, aviation, computers, the internet, and now the artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence not as we know it yesterday, but what would be of artificial intelligence tomorrow, not even today. So governments can create enabling conditions. Investors can provide capital. And universities can nurture talent. But it is entrepreneurs who convert possibilities into prosperity. And aside from the fact that it is my birthplace, Madurai actually has shown how the entrepreneurial spirit actually keeps this city, like as it was referred earlier, as a Tunga Nagaram. What is Tunga Nagaram? A city which doesn't sleep. And people coming from Ludhiana, Delhi, or Gurgaon, or even from Bangalore would say, Madurai, what is Tunga Nagaram about it? Why wouldn't it want to be? Is it Mumbai? For millennia, 2,500 years of recorded history tells you about Madurai. Why it is also called the Kudal Nagaram. Kudal is where everything converges. Kudal is where actually the assembly. Kudal is where you discuss. And Kudal is where from ideas come, and not just for the pleasure of discussion. It's not a pedagogic city. It is pedagogic to the extent it held the Tamil Sangam here. The language Tamil grew here. It was nurtured here. Assemblies discussed and rejected people who didn't rise to the occasion, or to the quality, or to the standard of Tamil, classical. So this place actually is the fountainhead of a lot of new ideas and organization. Actually, it is from here that trading, funding and financing trading, and taking trading elsewhere to the farthest corner of the Southeast Asia, and there forming chapters which had as a guild arrangements between here and there. 2,500 years ago, the chapters were documented. Even then they knew that there is that unit there which will take up financing, our tradesmen who go there, our merchants who go there, whether it is Cambodia, Laos, or Vietnam. If all of you all travel, I'm sure you do, you should engage with entrepreneurs there to know about this history of Madurai and South Tamil Nadu. Extraordinary professionalism in terms of funding and financing, the Shrenis as you would call them, the merchant guilds. Even today, I think the names Ainuruvar, Manigramam would tell us as to how the organization of trade, financing and funding of trade, not only that, setting commercial standards for trade, building networks stretched across the regions from here. The port Pumpuhar is known for the trade it did of spices, textiles, jewelry, and of pearls and so on. So cotton textiles, they went to Southeast Asia, Arabia and Mediterranean. Roman coins were found here too. In fact, if you had the time, I would have said, although a couple of years ago there was a flood and it got eroded a bit, Adichanallur, the biggest excavation that you will see of that era when trade happened from here, when professional approach took federations like yours, associations like yours, from here to trade to different bodies. Of course, the creativity of using a set, monetizing it, and also building on it, were all something which was naturally found in this region. So you're actually locating yourself and talking on the soil, from the soil, which periodically adapted itself to changes, and today you are sitting here to adapt yourself to the next level of change because of technology. And of course, those who are familiar with Tamil, I'll just refer back to our Saint Thiruvalluvar. As the change rises or as the change comes, so does the lotus bloom from above it. Vellattanaya malarneetam, mandartham ullattanayadu uyarvu. That lotus somehow from the clay and the water as it rises would still push it up and bloom above. So the challenges that we are facing today may rise, keep rising, and also make it even more murkier. But it is our enterprise which allows us to bloom above that level, and it is that boundary-less entrepreneurship about which you're going to be talking today. And so the convergence points from the point of view of today's economy, which I'd like to highlight to you, which I'm sure you know, but still I would like to keep the context. India is still the fastest growing major economy despite Hormuz, despite Ukraine, despite Israel, Iran, despite all the tankers not reaching us on time, despite oil and gas related problems, despite fertilizers going up, prices shooting up to the sky. We are still the fastest growing economy purely because of entrepreneurs like you and the citizens of the country. And we are projected to contribute 1/6 of the global growth over the coming years. It need not just be 1/6. And I can't see with the bright entrepreneurs before me, why can't it be 1/4? It's not a question. We can do it. And I think it has to come from you. We have the largest pool of the youngest workforce anywhere in the world. More than 2.4 lakh DPIIT recognized startups created over 23 lakh jobs in this country. And that is the third largest ecosystem for startups. We also have 2,100 global capability centers. Only last week did we have a meet. Chandrajit was there. We were talking about more global capability centers, going now to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, no more just in the metropolitan. And our digital public infrastructure has become an international benchmark. The UPI processes more than 20 billion transactions every month. Look at the activity. Transactions are happening, and digital transactions alone are 20 billion per month from us, from India. So the economic buzz is here. So new opportunities are coming for ambitious Indians, entrepreneurial Indians. But the barriers that once separated talent from opportunity are steadily diminishing. Geography, of course, still matters, but imagination matters far more. Imagination to exploit the available technology in your favor. I would like to say something which I'm sure will not receive claps, but that doesn't worry me. But I think it's my duty to say it. And at least Chandrajit will agree with me, if not others. This generation must overcome hesitation, must overcome that little hesitation to take risk. And I say this because you're far more well endowed, well equipped. The world is a lot more transparent and open. You can access information and so you can access resources as well. India, at least 30 years ago, was not similarly placed. You had to go seek information, you had to meet people, you had to go places, you had to contact people. And that was not direct, you didn't even know that they existed. You had to find ways to say, oh, there is this person who will be the ultimate word on my business. And then made your links and went about meeting, went about talking, went about identifying opportunities. Today, it's all available on your phone. Time saved, money saved, multitude of advice. So you already are well fitted. I'm not using just this one particular thing. I can tell you many more. India is electricity surplus. 30 years ago, you will search for that state which can give us some electricity, or you will probably be buying gadgets to store captive plants within your units. None of that worries you today. A telephone connection, this generation will not believe it. You had to seek an MP's recommendation to get a BSNL line in your house. I'm not giving you stories of hardship, but these are realities which India has overcome in the last 20, 30 years, and today everything is available at the press of a button. So this generation, I'm glad, is better equipped, better positioned to do the leapfrog. But are you ready? And what is stopping you? Where is the hesitation coming from? There is a hesitation, you can't deny that. So I want this entrepreneur gathering, which is talking about entrepreneurship beyond the boundaries, at a time when technology is at your call. To get over that hesitation, India is the place to be. India is the place to do business. And India is the place giving you a steady government, steady policy, certainty in taxation, and above all, an approachable government which responds to you. So what else? I was recently in France. The entrepreneurs there met me and said they would want to link with India's MSMEs. The ambassador, Indian ambassador in France, told me that, ma'am, we'll have to devise a way in which our entrepreneurs and French entrepreneurs can work together. You should be approaching, you young entrepreneurs, this particular organization, the Wi-Fi, is it? Wi-Fi, should, I'm telling you, contact the Indian ambassador in France and say, get all the French entrepreneurs to come here, we are willing to meet them. You can say so many more things to them, and of course hear them. The government can certainly be an enabler. Since 2014, and I'm grateful for the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, he has sought to redefine the role of government openly in conversation with you, from being a controller of enterprises to becoming an enabler of enterprises. So through various steps, we've tried to keep that facilitator's role active, create an ecosystem where ideas have a good chance of succeeding, We have worked to build that environment, and through greater formalization, about which many of us have spoken, the digitization, I've just now mentioned about the UPI transactions. NPCI is taking all the QR codes from India also to many places. Eiffel Tower, you stand there, you can pay through our QR code. So greater formalization, simplifying procedures, digitization, regulatory reform have all made it easier for business to start, operate and expand. There is an unprecedented investment, particularly from the public, from the government sector, in roads and railways, ports, airports, logistics, and digital connectivity. And this has actually reduced distances. There are no borders between the states. The GST law has come. There is one nation, one tax, improved competitiveness, connected enterprises to national and global markets. So it is the time for businesses to come forward and take that risk to say, I'm going to build, I see a market potential. There are newer sectors for which government is giving the support, the sunrise sectors as we call them. Or look at the ways in which AI can be used to help dryland agriculture, processing of food. Now, from here straight, I'm going to a place in Virudhunagar district, which is an aspirational district. You know what an aspirational district is. Hadn't met the benchmark of being among the average performance in the state level. At the national level, we've identified all these districts, 114 to start with, and call them not backward, call them aspirational, made sure all the government schemes converged there and they lifted them. Virudhunagar has done very well for it. Now, after 8 years of being an aspirational district, so is Ramanathapuram, the only 2 aspirational districts for Tamil Nadu. I'm going to Virudhunagar because I'm so happy to say this. SIDBI, the Small Industries Development Bank of India, has set up a unit. This is just one unit. They can't be setting up units themselves. They are only a refinancier for banks to help the MSMEs. But they've set up this unit in this aspirational district to process that famous Virudhunagar red chilies. Amazing work has been done in terms of the quality, in terms of the branding. They have started exporting as well. And in the process, the farmers of the area even have revived some of the traditional, lost in the market varieties of rice. The red rice, the very nutrient-rich varieties, Mapalai Samba, Kauni, all these rice have been revived and they're beautifully packing it. I'm going to see that unit. So this government bringing in support mechanism is for everybody, MSMEs and even the slightly bigger units. Uncertainty is a business risk. Preserving entrepreneurial confidence because the government is an enabler, I think is a very important message. Even because of the tariff-related problems last year, we extended emergency credit liquidity guarantee scheme. And this one is the 5th edition of the ECGLS. We launched it during COVID, had 2, 3, 4, but the one which is launched now on the, or in the context of the tariffs have also helped the ECGLS, helped the MSMEs. So with such schemes which are periodically designed and being brought before you, industry has nothing to worry, to wonder if the government is going to be supportive or not. We are supportive, we are tailor-making schemes to support industry. So I want you to come out and be ready to take up, widen your scope, contribute to the state in which you're present, make sure all of us put together take India to Vikasit Bharat 2047. So I believe the most significant boundary today are no longer geographical. Technology has made markets accessible. Capital is willing to flow freely across borders where good ideas exist. And knowledge is more widely available now. Like the way I said earlier, it's on your phone. So boundaries that remain are often those we impose for ourselves on ourselves. It is our own hesitation which is the boundary. So entrepreneurship beyond boundary is entrepreneurship beyond your own hesitation. Fear of failure is not something which you can justify. Today you can, one, you don't fail. Two, if you fail, you move further. There is opportunity even beyond that. So the temptation to think only in terms of valuation instead of value creation will have to be overcome. So India needs entrepreneurs to aspire, continue creating values, companies that invest in research and development, create intellectual property, mentor future entrepreneurs, and earn trust over decades. Again, I'm tempted to go back to Thiruvalluvar. He's such a versatile, ancient, thinker, scholar. I'm talking of take efforts, come forward. It is your hesitation you have to overcome. He says, it's not failure, it's the absence of effort, which is worrying. So what did he say? Muyarchi thiruvinai aakum. Muyatrinmai inmai puguthividu. So persistent effort is what is required to bring prosperity. But the absence of effort only brings in want, in the sense you will be sitting and wanting this, wanting that, and have nothing for yourselves. So don't let go the drive for making effort, seeing the result. I will have to refer again to Madurai before I conclude my speech. There is a famous ancient document called Madura Vijayam. It's a beautiful documentation of the history up to a certain period. In that, Madurai is destroyed and it has to be fought, it has to be won again. It records all that. Very many tragic instances happened where the temple was shut, worship was stopped, destruction all over. A millennia before that, there was destruction because of injustice met in the Kannagi Kovalan episode. Kannagi stands on one of the hillocks around here, Pasumalai, and she burns the whole town except for children, cow, and so on. Madurai revived after that. Similarly, due to the invasions which happened in the last 1,000 years or even more, Madurai again was defeated. It was thrashed down. But there was this king of Vijayanagara, Kumara Kampanna, as a person born in this town, as a person belonging to the state, and a person who strongly believes in reviving ourselves, re-energizing ourselves. I will have to leave this thought with you all. In Madura Vijayam, Ganga Devi, who's the wife of Kumara Kampanna. Kumara Kampanna is the Vijayanagara king. He comes to Tamil Nadu, he comes to Madurai. He restores Madurai. In this era, we need to remember these artificial lines of, oh, you are so and so, you're so and so, you're that, you're not a Tamil. Kumara Kampanna came to save Madurai. And his wife Ganga Devi did not look at it negatively or did not say, oh my God, this desperate city, it's already thrashed, it's down in ashes. Look at the way it is, the invasion has finished the city. She actually celebrates the renewal of its confidence and purpose. Ganga Devi saw Madurai in its true spirit. And she says the renewal of its confidence and the purpose for which they have to stand up. She recognizes that. I'm purposely quoting this because Madurai has always stood for that kind of enduring perseverance, pursuing further. No challenge can defeat us further. Someone or some others will be together with us and we'll grow. You young entrepreneurs in India today, where so much of effort is happening to lift India, where so much effort is happening to lift India from that kind of a disbelief. No, India cannot rise. Oh no, this is how we are. This is how we Indians are. We only believe in Jugaad. We don't do much. No. Today, India is at a reckoning position. I was in France, I told you, there was an institution called ITER, I-T-E-R. They're doing fantastic research on nuclear fusion, which is a very futuristic thing. There are only 5 countries and whose flags are there saying they are the ones who are doing this experiment together. India's flag was there. Fusion technology in nuclear world is still very far away. We didn't say, no, yeah, we won't be able to do, it's all right, somebody's doing it. No, we went and pitched there. We are involved there. L&T's engineers are working in giving those huge futuristic fusion technology related nuclear weapon instruments. India is there. So, India is there in the Arctic research. India sent missions to Antarctica. India went to the moon, the South Polar Moon, where no one has set foot before us. Extraordinary achievements are being made now. Won't you want to be part of it? Won't you want to contribute to it? Won't you want to be seen as that India, which doesn't wait for result of today, but looks at opportunities where we can take this country boldly. So, I don't want to take more of your time. Build boldly, build responsibly, build for India, build for the world, but above all, build for generations which are yet to come. Amidst all the stories that I've told you about the suffering, about the defeat, about the loss, we have revived ourselves each time. And revival is in the hands of the young. Revival is in the hands of those who see those great sacrifices which have been made, and it is for us to take it up and build this country for future generations which are yet to come. So, Varga Bharatam, Varga Tamilagam.